Hello, my friends. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is for you. Welcome to Kardec Radio once again. This is Spiritism, a closer look, and I'm Luiz Lima, your host. Just as a reminder, if you have any comments or suggestions, or if you want to request some particular subject for us to bring over and address here, you can just go to kardecradio.com or our Facebook page or the email you have on your screen. So let's go. Let's get started with tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is perseverance. Perseverance. And I have somebody here that is, let me tell you where he came from. He came from the spirit world. And you know where he's going? He's going to the spirit world, just like all of us. Here he is, my great friend, good friend, Mackenzie Melo. Mackenzie, how are you?
Hi, Louise. I'm doing great, thank you. It's a pleasure to be back here and to talk to you about this topic, which is it's dear to me. I mean, it's been following me for a few years, and it's good to see that your program is persevering, just like Kardec Radio is being like there every day for every one of us. Thanks for inviting me.
No, thanks for taking the invitation. It's great to see you again here. So, Mackenzie, perseverance. What can we say?
Yeah, perseverance. It's a very interesting topic to me. A while ago, there was this Spiritist center that invited me to talk about this topic. He gave me the topic, and it was something that made me think at the time. And I was thinking about this not the topic itself, but about how and why do we talk about certain things. I was talking to my brother a while ago, and we were discussing so when we go to the Spiritist Center, when we talk about a topic, a specific topic, what do we plan with the topic? It doesn't matter which one it is, and we came out with this idea that, and we all talk about this, I guess, at one point, that when we talk about something, we most of the times we tend to think that we're talking about the topic for others, just like here we're talking, for people who are listening to us, which is true in a certain way, because I mean, if we could just sit down and discuss me and you this without having the camera, and then we would be talking among me and you, or between me and you. However, if we're talking about something for the others, aren't we also, and maybe most importantly, talking about that thing for ourselves? And I realized that that's a, a large part of the truth, is that when we talk about something, and if a topic has been following me for a long time, apparently, like the universe, as we hear in movies, and so the universe is trying to tell me something right about it. So when you asked me what are you going to talk about, it said perseverance, and then I thought to myself, here I go again. Why do I need to hear about this? Why do I need to talk about this? Yeah, and it's been a trip. It's been a journey for me with this topic, because every time you think about it, you have some ideas that we already had in the past, and sometimes some new ideas come. And what I'm saying right now, it came to me more vividly when I was thinking about this for tonight, that the what I'm talking about, it is for me, but hopefully, because I feel it is for me, hopefully it can be for other people too. It can be useful for other people. Hopefully, I can convey this idea that we need to persevere in whatever we want to go. So, you wanted to say something, I mean.
No. Just it came to me because we are right here undergoing trials and expiations. We are more or less about the same level. So yeah, if it's good for one, it's good for all. what I was
for a
thinking.
lot of us. Yeah, that's right. And during this pandemic that we've been through, I heard this expression of people saying, "Oh, we're under the same boat," and some people would come and say, "Oh no, we're not under this. We're not on the same boat. We are maybe on the same ocean, but on different boats," and so on. And I guess sometimes it's just people trying to create new ways of saying things, or to be fancy, or to, oh, I don't want to conform, so I want to create my own sayings and so on. Because we all know when we say we are on the same boat, what we want to say. We can make specifics, and then we say, okay, but these boat and this boat and this boat. And when we are on the same earth, so, in this sense, we are on the same boat, just like you said. We are under trials and expiations. So, we are all together sailing the same boat in that sense. Some might be a little, up front, which the other ones that are back there, they'll have to walk where I am. But we are under the same circumstances. And or similar circumstances. So when I was thinking about this topic for the first time a while ago, this idea, and that's why I'm bringing the boat in, this idea of a boat sailing came to me. And because there was this story that caught my imagination, which was the story of two flies. And these two flies together with us are on the same boat. And then these flies, they are, flying around, and then one of them fall into a glass, and this glass has some liquid inside. So, and then the other one is flying and then falls as well. um, so when both of them they fall, one gives up right away and stops like moving, gives up. The other one decides not to give up, right? Decides to
Mhm.
persevere, and I want to get out of here, right? So she or he keeps like, it keeps, trying to get out, and then all of a sudden that liquid starts to get a little thicker,
Mhm.
and the fly goes on top of it, and then gets to the edge, and then is able to move, and then flies away. The other one sunk and died. And it's like, oh, thank God! Can you imagine a fly thinking, right? Thank God I survived, right? It's the opposite of that movie, that terror movie in the past, The Fly, where the computer merged DNAs and all. So
Yeah.
coming back to the story, so the fly flew away and so on. So and then she keeps flying and finds another drink, and then falls into it on another one.
Mhm.
So now she knows, right? Now she knows that she can't give up. So she will,
Supposedly, yeah.
yeah. So she will like try to get out. Then comes a second flies flying around, and then instead of falling, she just like, she's outside, and on the second cup, right, the glass, there's a straw inside the liquid, and the fly looks at the other fly that's inside the liquid and says, "Hey, um, there's a straw right there. Why don't you just crawl and go out?" "No, that's fine. I'm here. I know how to deal with this." And she says, "Okay, I'm just giving you a hint." But indeed, she battles, and then she gets tired. The liquid never changes, and then she drowns and she dies. So the first liquid was probably a milk, right?
Mhm.
Something of
It's
that
thick,
sort.
yeah, yeah.
It's thick. The second was maybe water. Doesn't matter how much
Yeah, yeah.
it will become the same. The first time she persevered. The second time she was stubborn. This is this to me, it shows that perseverance is very close linked with being stubborn. But what is the difference? The difference is our knowledge of of the situation that we are in. Should we go or should we stay? Should we do we know when to stop? How to stop? where to stop. Otherwise, it will become something that is not perseverance,
Hmm.
is stubbornness,
Right. Yeah.
which goes to the other, to the edge where we shouldn't be going. And this, to me today, is still hard to figure out, depending on the situation where you are. Because especially these days when we have so much data around us and we have
Hmm.
so much information, we have so many people saying so many different things.
Yeah.
How do we know where to stop? How do we know if I'm being, if I being stubborn, or if I'm being, I'm being smart in persevering on that front, on that side, right? And to me, the most, or one of the most, but it cannot be separated, is the best, in one of the best indicators is if we are um, thinking about it, if we are actually taking the time to analyze, really analyze the situation, but also to feel the situation. And one good thing is to listen to the ones, and that's what the other fly is doing, to listen to the other ones who have a wider perspective of the same topic, just like the other fly had of that
Mhm.
straw, that maybe I saw it, but I didn't give much importance uh, about it. And then, but she says, okay, so why don't you look at this? And so when I think about perseverance in being a spiritist, right? It's my idea is, um, how much am I taking into consideration one of the things that you said in the beginning, where I come from. I come from the spiritual realm, and that's where I'm going to.
Right.
So this is one thing, one of the things that I need to have in my mind, that what I where I come from, where I'm going to, that everything that I do here has a consequence later on, right? And if I only think about this without thinking about the future, or what I did to learn from the past to go to the future, I may um, not be able to realize that I'm just being stubborn and not really persevering. Because perseverance has that tone of goodness to it, has that,
Mhm.
like, the idea of, to me, has that idea of accomplishment, that has that idea of making progress onto something, and not necessarily being stuck somewhere,
Yeah.
being, yeah, stopped because of my stubbornness, or because, oh, no, I want to do this. When do we know? We sometimes we don't know. Sometimes only time can really tell us. But we have to be aware, and that's why it's so important, in my view, that we have knowledge. Not that it will solve everything, but it helps us decide, achieve, helps us have a different view, allow us to see from a different perspective the cup that we are in, analyze the liquid that we are in,
Yeah.
analyze if we have escape routes, analyze everything, and ask for help.
Yeah.
Ask for,
We have to have discernment to
yeah,
make a decision. Of course, we have to be informed. That's where the knowledge comes in place,
yeah,
to look at both situations and make a decision.
yeah.
Yeah, literally, I think we can say that stubbornness makes you sink, and perseverance makes you fly.
Makes you fly. It's a good thing. And then when I was, looking for perseverance in the codification, just to have an idea of what, It's not one of the most common words that we see around the books or the things, at
Mhm.
least not on my research, anyways. But one thing that caught my attention was that the spirits in the spirits book, they use the word perseverance in the prolegomena of the book, which is right after the introduction.
Mhm.
And it's that message where the spirit sign, it's, let me see, just to give a few names: Saint John the Evangelist, Saint Augustine, Saint Vincent de Paul, Saint Louis, the Spirit of Truth, Socrates, Plato, Fenelon, Franklin, Swedenborg, and so on. So it was a group of spirits that dictated or confirmed or assigned or whatever this message, which is right at the beginning of the Spirit's book.
Right.
And they're talking about the spread of spiritism and what this light will bring to what what the doctrine or the teachings of spiritism will bring to us as light, right? And then there's a point where they come and say, uh, do not be discouraged by critics,
Mhm.
which is literally, I mean, persevere, right? It's persevere. There will be critics, there will be people against you. But if you really know that this job, that if you really know that that this body of knowledge is important, it helps people, it brings people forward, it doesn't make people get stuck, it unstuck people, get people out of the mud to a better life, to a better outlook in life, to view life in a different way. Don't be discouraged by critics. And then later on in another paragraph, they say it literally, and I'm going to say, perseverance alone is the key to accomplish your work.
Mhm.
The pleasure you will feel in witnessing the spread of Spiritism and its rightful appreciation will be a rich reward, though perhaps this will be enjoyed in the future rather than in the present, which is something else to say about perseverance. Is that sometimes when we persevere on something, maybe we give up at the last second. And there are a lot of memes and a lot of cartoons that show this. Like, for example, a person like digging down under the earth looking for diamonds or, like mining stuff. And then you see that they cut the earth and they show the person going down under the earth, like digging, 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 and then the person gives up and then comes back. And then it's just like a tiny
Yeah.
bit. And right here is the treasure that the person was looking forward.
Yeah.
So these cartoons show us that, I mean, we need to persevere. We really never know when it's going to be the end. And there's something else. That's exactly what he says here. I maybe I'm not doing this for myself in terms of now, in terms of physically speaking. Maybe I'm doing it for the next generation. There's a tale of an old, I think it's a Middle Eastern tale, because they talk about, I think it's fig, or it's a fruit that takes up, I think, 70 years to for I don't know, 30 years for the first, you know,
Gosh.
fruits to come, or
Mhm.
40 years or 60. It's a long time. And then comes this young boy to this old man. He's like 67 years old. Well, I say old man, they're 60 years old. It's just crazy, right? These
It
days,
is, right?
right? It's totally crazy because I'm getting there. It's so old. So now we have to start saying a 200-year-old man.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't exist, but so it's an older man, closer to death, of course, much closer to death than a 10-year-old boy. And he's laughing at the man because the man is taking care of this tree. And he's planting, and the tree is very small. And the boy is laughing at him. Oh, you're doing this for this tree, and um, and you're not even gonna eat it. He said, so how do you eat it?
Yeah.
You eat it because older people took care, and even if they don't eat from this one, you will be able to eat it 30 years from now or 40
Right.
years from now. And being spiritists, we know that we're also doing it for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We
Because
know that.
down the road we're gonna be here again.
Exactly. So even if it's not that same tree, and sometimes it even is, but even if it's not that tree, if we don't think that what we're doing and what we're persevering on doing is not, even if we want to be selfish, Luis, right?
Yeah.
Even if we want to be selfish, it's worth doing.
It is. Yeah. So we could say then that lack of perseverance denies progress,
We could.
right?
We could.
It denies progress because if you don't do anything, if you don't persevere, you're going to be stuck, like you said,
Mhm,
and that in itself denies progress. In the codification itself, there's a chapter on the gospel which is seek and you will find,
mhm.
and that's what it is, right? Seek, go after something, persevere, go find your treasure, and
Yeah.
that will, it will make you a better person overall. It's a moral statement. So yeah, that's the same idea, the perseverance.
And to persevere in something, we need to have a focus.
Hmm.
People say, for example, oh, um, I don't want to do anything. Oh, but even if you don't want to do anything, you're doing something,
Yeah.
right? Or you're doing nothing. That's your perseverance. You're persevering on doing nothing, and there will be consequences to it. So anything that we do in that sense, it's a perseverance act. The problem is, though, what are we persevering on? And that comes back to that stubborn conversation we just had, but also to anything else. I mean, if I persevere on not persevering, because it's also perseverance in that saying, right? So if I start something and I stop, then I start something and I stop. So what is my perseverance? My perseverance is starting and not finishing.
I'm stopping.
So
Yeah.
I am like unprogressing. I'm not unprogressing, but I'm getting stuck because I'm not moving forward. I'm just moving one step ahead and then maybe one step back. One step ahead, one step back. So I'm at the same place or at the
Yeah,
same
you're not
spot.
accomplishing anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not accomplishing anything. There's this sentence that I like a lot that says it was written by Montaigne. It says, "No wind blows in favor of a ship." And remember, we were traveling on that ship with the flies, right? So no wind blows in favor of a ship without a destination.
Hmm.
If I don't have a destination, if I don't know where I'm going to, any wind is in favor and against at the same time because it doesn't really matter. So I cannot complain about the wind. I cannot and I cannot say that it's good or say that it's bad. Why? Because I just don't know where I'm going to. So I have to find out something that I want to do, something that I need to do, or something that I want to accomplish. It doesn't really matter what it is, although when we have this broader view of life that Spiritism brings to us, we kind of have a direction. We kind of have, just like the sunflower, we look towards the light. We Oh, I want to go this path, then I try to go, even though sometimes I diverge from it, or I divert from it, or I fall or something. But I sorry, but at least I have a guiding principle.
Hmm.
And Spiritism allows us to have this broader view of life and say, okay, I have this beginning, I have this end, and for me to be in a better place from the beginning to the end, or whatever, if we don't want to call the end, call the middle, we have to walk this path and not walk backwards.
Hmm.
So we might find a winding road, but at least we have like a point, a direction to go to. The problem is when we don't decide, and that's why I find that image of the wind not blowing and not helping a ship. If the ship doesn't know where it's going to, it doesn't know where the final port is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There are some interesting passages in the codification. where the spirits are going to tell us there's not only two, but two of the situations where we really need to, be smart, like you said, and persevere on, is when we are facing having to deal with less advanced spirits, or as we usually call evil spirits. We have to live with them. They have to be near us for whatever reason. They are colleagues, they are family members, they are people that we have to deal with. That's one of them. The second is ingratitude.
Oh my God.
And those things are absolutely necessary for those in trials and expiations,
Hmm.
because that's what's going to make us, prove to ourselves that we are persevering and, looking for a brighter future.
Yeah,
So
for a
I
better.
like that talk from the Spirit's book.
It is. It is. It is. And that's the thing. I mean, we tend to. We. I was just parentheses here. I was talking one day with a friend, and he's a historian. I mean, graduated in history, and
Mhm.
I was talking to him about what would you want to know more about in history in the world. And he said, oh, I would like to know more about history about the losers. And what do you mean by that? He says, oh, because the history we know the history of the ones who won.
Yeah,
We don't know the history of the ones who lost,
yeah,
because that's the story that there is told, right? Usually, I'm not saying that we don't know, we know, but even knowing some of the history of people who lost, we usually know that history based on a view of the ones who won, which is really interesting to think about. But this is another side topic. But I like to use that image to think about perseverance and about reaching the goal. We will only reach the goal if we go till the end, if
yeah.
we keep persevering, if we it doesn't matter what. These two examples that you said are some that we live daily, basically, right? If we have a family, we have that, right? It's natural, you know. One day, I'm talking to my wife. She says, "You know that one day you're gonna hear from your daughters that they hate you." And I said, "Yeah, I know that,
Yeah, of
and I
course.
already think about it so that I'm ready when I hear it." And, it's exactly what you just said. Why do they hate you? Do they hate you because they don't have the same view as you do? And maybe they will come later to realize. But if I give up, I will not be their parent anymore. I'm not going to be parent, and then they will have a right, say, to hate me for real. So, but if I continue, despite all the difficulties, despite all the problems, I will win. Not win in terms of being better than the other, but I win over myself. I win my not deception. I was thinking in Portuguese. I win over my disappointment,
It's a point.
because um, I was young one day, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I got angry at my parents as well, right? And be be that I was correct or they were correct. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that they are my parents, and they never gave up on me.
Hmm.
Despite whatever I told them, despite whatever I did to them, they are still my parents. And when I talk to them, I don't remember those bad days. I remember mostly the good days, and I remember mostly the the gratitude. So they won me over. They won me over to their side. Why? Because they persevered despite all the bad things that I did or all the wrong things that I did. So on my turn now, I have to do something similar. Maybe better than them, maybe worse than them, but I have to do something similar because I saw that it worked. It worked on me. So why wouldn't it work on the others? We adapt because of times, because of how times change and so on. But we need to go on. We need to move forward and move towards that goal. And I know that we are getting close and it's already time, but I want to say one last thing. And there would be more things to talk about, but I like this sentence. It was done in an advertisement, but using a real life experience. And this person, he says, I missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game winning shot, and I missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. This was said by Michael Jordan, which is arguably the best basketball player of all time.
Right.
He, we can say anything or many things about him, but we know that he was successful and he trained and he played, he focused. But he's saying here that he tried and he kept going. His goal was, I want to be the best basketball player that I can be, maybe than others, but that's his problem, or that's his decision. What is my decision? My decision is be the best Mackenzie there can be, not be best or better than other people. It's be better than I was yesterday. That's a good goal in persevering. That's the To me, that's what Spiritism teaches us. It's to be the best that you can be, and perseverance has this power for me to win over. And Jesus says, I won over the world. I kept going. So just let's get going. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. Mackenzie, just to wrap up, so it's all about, so perseverance is about overcoming difficulties. So could we say that if there are no difficulties, there is no need for perseverance? No difficulties at all, zero, zero, zero. Because nothing is going to trigger us to, seek and overcome that situation and be, on our path. So it's all about using the difficulties in life to learn and overcome. I think it is.
It is. It is. It's just like I have a grandbaby now, right? A grandson, and it's so fun to watch them grow. Every time he comes here, like once a week or twice a week that I see him, it's like huge differences in what he can do, in what he can perceive, in what he can hear. And to overcome these small difficulties that to us are just like, why does he have so much trouble doing this, right? But I had that same trouble. And because of that trouble, today I can stand now.
Right.
I can only walk. I can only walk because there's something called inertia and friction. If there was no difficulty in one surface over the other, I could not walk. I would do the moonwalk all the time because my feet would not stick to something. Because it is hard for the feet to move forward. That's why we walk.
That's what makes you walk. Yeah.
That's why we walk. So it's that same idea.
All right. So I think Mackenzie was a great discussion, great topic, and I think you brought to us very brightly, the subject very clear to all of us, our audience, and myself included here. So I wanted to thank you once again for participating with us, being part of our program, and of course, we will be here more times talking about different things.
Oh,
so
yeah.
thank you so much.
So thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. I hope to be back soon.
You will. Okay, so for next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m., we are going to be here with Spiritism, a closer look, right here at Kardec Radio. So stay